Hi, it's Christina, and I've been getting some questions as to how can teachers collect open-ended answers to questions that pose open-ended prompts and such. And so, with a quick way then to organize that information collected from the students, and then also a quick way to respond to students. So let me go through a really cool script that I use called Form Emailer, and let's start from the beginning. So the first thing that you want to do is open up your Drive and go ahead and create your form. So we're going to click on Create, we're going to scroll down to Form, Create and Share, and I'm going to title this is actually a really good opportunity for me to create my theme forms, what I've coined as theme forms, for our upcoming read of Bless Me Ultima by Rodolfo Anaya. So I'm just going to Bless Me Ultima Theme Form 1. So I'm going to title it Theme Form 1 simply because there will be more than one. I typically have one theme form for each chunk of reading. So I think there will be 4 or 5 chunks of reading, I can't remember, so I'll probably have 4 or 5 theme forms. As I have mentioned before, go with your basic theme layout. All that extraneous icon imagery kind of stuff, if it doesn't pertain to the lesson itself, to the purpose of learning, it's going to probably cognitively overwhelm the students. They're going to focus on all these other images that don't really mean anything, and it doesn't help them learn. So just go with your basic white default. Okay, here we go. I'm going to automatically collect respondents' usernames, which is their emails, and that's going to help me with this form emailer. So make sure you automatically collect their username. Okay, I don't remember when the first theme form is due, but I typically also put in the due date for students. So just for now, I'll say it's due April 30th. So if I have to change it later, I'll change it later. Okay, time to create my questions. Since I have the pretty much standard wording that I like to use, I just did a quick copy and paste. What I end up doing, and I'll show this in its entirety in just a second, okay. So you type in your question, your prompt, and because it's open-ended, I'm going to select the paragraph text for the question type, which allows students to provide a longer answer, and I'm going to make that required. So this is going to be my template now for when I duplicate my questions. So as you can see, what I have students do is, and again, you change it up however it works best for you to meet your needs, but to meet my needs, to get students thinking about particular themes or motifs or symbols about a reading, I prompt them to provide one piece of concrete evidence with the citation from the text. So they're actually having to use the text to support their example, and then an explanation. Let's see if I duplicate this. Can we actually see? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Provide one piece of concrete evidence with citation and explanation demonstrating moral independence. So there's one theme. Okay. Now I need to edit this, and I'll go to the end, and I just keep typing in. Let's see. An influence of culture identity. You'll notice that the template itself for the question stays the same, so paragraph text has repeated itself and required question. Now I'm going to duplicate this again, and I'm going to go to the end, influence demonstrating dreams. That's a motif. Demonstrating a motif. I might just simplify it and say, give me an explanation of a motif. And here in help text, I'll, let's see, it could be i.e. dreams, family, tolerance, understanding. Okay, and I'll duplicate that, demonstrating a symbol week. And the symbols that are seen in this novel, let's see, there's the golden carp, the owl, Virgin of Guadalupe. I should capitalize. Okay, and then what I like to further ask students is, what did I find most intriguing? I can never spell intriguing. Or curious about this chunk of reading. And I usually use first person because research shows that if text is personalized to students, they actually can associate better with it. So I put that in first person, and it's required. And then what I also really love doing is the WQ dish. And that's, what questions do I still have? I want to know what is confusing to them. What overall questions do they still have? Okay, I don't collect their first and last name necessarily because I'm already collecting their email address. Okay, so now I'm done. And now I'm going to go up here and choose response destination. As we know, Google Drive, Google Form automatically retitles your information as the responses from the response, so we're going to create that. And that's setting up here. There we go. And now I'm going to go into the view responses, and here we go. I'm going to insert the script called Form Emailer. I'm going to install it. Usually it doesn't take this long, but recently for some reason installing scripts actually takes a little bit of time. Okay, and now I'm going to authorize. Okay, it says that it's installed, so I'm going to close this. And interestingly enough, with Form Emailer script, you actually have to go in and install it once again. I don't know why, it just, the way it is. Okay, install. Great. It sets up the second page in your response form in your spreadsheet. Don't touch it. Just leave it alone. So I'm going to go back to now form responses, and as you can see, I've got my form emailer status in column A. Don't touch it. Just leave it the way it is. Don't mess with this. And then what I do is I'm going to show you a location that where I've actually got it all set up ready to go, and I'll show you how to use it. So this is recently a theme form that was completed by students for Death of a Salesman. It's their second theme form based on Act 2. So they basically just had only 2 theme forms to complete. And you'll see here how I've got my form emailer already installed. I've got the status here, and I'll explain the status in just a second. Timestamp, username, here are their concrete pieces of concrete evidence and their explanations explaining certain areas of themes that I wanted them really focus on. And then I've got the intriguing question, and then I've got my WQ dish. And this is where I'm going to, let's see, WQ Dish responses. This does not show up to anyone except for me, and it's just letting me know that I am actually responding to them. So this student didn't have a question. Okay, fine. See, they found the loophole. Even though I made it a required thing for them to complete, they just type in none or nothing and it's considered completed. But so here we go. I want to know what the Lohman brothers end up doing in the future. Does the dream live on or fade away? That's a great question. I'm not sure. Perhaps we should write an additional epilogue for this. Okay, so I'm just responding. Okay, I understand that Willie does not want to take the job from Charlie because of pride. It isn't borrowing money from him, and he has no. Why doesn't he take the job for Linda's sake? I think you answered this yourself in that Willie is prideful. Okay, so anyway, so you'll go through your questions, the WQ dishes, and you'll respond to them, okay, in this particular column, whichever it is. Now it's time to actually email students your responses. So let's go up to Form Emailer, and let's go to Settings. Yes, okay. Okay, super, thanks, great, settings. Sometimes there's all this other stuff. Okay, you have all this fluff that's automatically entered. I hate it. So I just change it up. So sender name, who's the sender? Well, it's me. And I'm going to send this to and placeholders. So I'm going to send it to the username that's collected. So that's their email address. So I'm going to insert the placeholder, and that's their username. The subject, what's the subject? BSWQDish response theme form 2. Okay, and all this that's in the body of the text, I delete it. So I say, okay, dear, and now I'm going to come down here, username, whoever this username is. Okay, so that's the student. Dear username, based on your WQ dish, and I'm going to actually insert their WQ dish, their question, so that they can remember what it is. Insert the placeholder. My response to you is and here I'm going to now add WQ dish responses and insert that placeholder. And hope this helps. Regards, Dr. Mattis. Okay, so save and close. So basically that's what I do for the settings, and that setting now is set for everybody. Because I didn't respond to everybody yet, I don't want to reply to everybody yet. But let's see, I replied to, let's say, okay, line 4. So process manually, and I'm just going to send to line 4. Okay, perfect. Now, once, and the script is running, and you'll notice that once it's processed successfully, you'll get this little notice, okay, and here's that form emailer says that I was talking about earlier. It says that email is sent, which is great. Now, once I actually go in and respond to everybody, you don't have to process each line manually. That takes way too long. So once you've gone through and emailed everybody or responded to everybody, you just go in, you still select process manually, and what you do is, this is where that asterisk comes in. Line 2, asterisk, and it actually sends to everybody. But I'm going to cancel this because I haven't done it yet, but that's what you would just click OK, and it'll just send that email to everybody. So I hope this has provided you a little bit of additional insight as to how you can ask students open-ended questions and then to respond to them in a really quick way. Have fun.